Hey guys, welcome to another video, and today I'm in the Long Dark. It's a grueling, tough survival game set in the Canadian wastes. You crash and you have to fight your way through the snow and try and survive. It's a really hard game and something I keep coming back to. It's very immersive, and the way they do the graphics is stylized, but yet still it feels very real. So what I thought I'd do is put together a tips video for beginners and have a look at some of the things that will hopefully help you survive and get you past that beginner stage quicker than you would otherwise. There you go, the fire goes out. That's what this game is like. It's pretty harsh. So let's have a look at 10 tips for beginners in the Long Dark. Tip 1. In the beginning, it's easy to underestimate how important water is in-game. Now, there's snow all around you. We'll have a look at that soon, but when you're with a fire, you can click on the fire and you can click on water. You start with a recycled can. You can select that bottom right-hand corner there. Select the amount of snow you want to melt. In fact, these cans can only hold half a litre. And you click cook. Now, you can see the little can goes down with the snow in it and it's melting, and it gives you 18 minutes or whatever time it is until the snow is melted. And then you have to then boil the water, at which point you can click on it and you'll notice it says 30 minutes until boil dry. It gives you a bit of leeway in case you forget about it and then come back to it. 28 minutes, click on it, left click again, take it, check your inventory, go to your food. You'll see in your backpack you have some water. I've already done some here. And you can build up a supply. Now, obviously that does add to your load in your backpack, but it's definitely worth having that to keep your thirst levels down. Tip 2. If you go to your status, you'll see you have a condition with an eye. And on the left hand side, at the moment it says winded. If you go to your inventory, click on the little bag at the top, you'll see in your backpack that you have a carry limit. At the moment it's 30 kilograms. And your backpack, for me in this particular situation, contains 24 kilograms. As you get tireder, currently winded, as I get tireder, this capacity, your carrying capacity, drops. And that can severely affect your speed and your chances of getting a sprained ankle. So you really got to watch. You've got to keep your rest levels up. And to do that, you need to find a bed. You put your bedroll down and sleep on that. And that will up your energy level and allow you to carry more without any penalty. Now, you do have a bedroll in your backpack. You can lay it down anywhere. If you lay it down outside in the cold, you'll be cold all night and you will suffer accordingly.
Nothing to drink.
Tip 3. As you're moving through the landscape, you will come across the option to gather stuff. It may be old man's beard hanging from the branches of trees or sticks on the ground. Now, I always find, unless you're really desperate for material, only pick up the things in the initial stages that you can just grab and select and pick up. So that will include things like sticks, like this one here. Pick it up. If you stop and harvest the larger branches where you have to break down, you'll be spending much more time in the cold. And that has a really negative penalty, especially early on, because you won't have that many clothes or much protection against the cold. So just be mindful of what you're collecting and harvesting as you go around. You don't really want to be spending too much time out in the cold. Tip 4. When you're checking rooms or buildings for items, you've got to think carefully about where things are being hidden. Now, you can crouch by holding the control down and have a look into spaces. You can see there's some herbal tea hidden at the back there. And I often find, actually, like things like bullets hidden in a little space, a recycled can down there. We'll take that, boil more water. But they're also, they cunningly hide things in bins. Look, in here in this bin we've got salty crackers.
I can always use more food.
As the man says, you can always use more food. And so you've got to be very careful. Check things. Bullets really kind of blend into the background, and the beautiful nature of the graphics is sometimes the objects that you can take aren't immediately apparent. So you've got to be able to click on things and check them out. And just be mindful, be aware that some of the things you're looking at, actually, like this condensed milk here, that just looks like part of the scenery. You can pick that up. Tip 5, as you will see from that little clip there, you will encounter wolves at some point. You'll come over a hill and suddenly the howl of the wolf will get you, and you'll be thinking, where on earth can I hide? Well, if you can find somewhere to hide indoors where you can access a bed or a safe place where you can put your bed rolled down, then you can sleep for an hour and the wolves will disappear from outside. So bear that in mind. Ideally, you don't want to be caught out in the wilds like this and face the wolves. You want to be near a building, and then you can pass some time and they will just drift back off to their spawning spot or the route which they will naturally follow as part of the game. Tip 6. Whenever you're heading out, if you're not in a hurry and you've got to travel a fair distance, or you just want to keep warm, have a think about the weather. Ideally, you want it nice and clear without the wind blowing or the snow coming down. And what you'll find is you won't get as cold. I mean, it's common sense, isn't it, really? Think about the weather as you set out. Tip 7. There are a number of buffs in game, things that you can drink that will ultimately give you bonuses. The easiest one to get your hands on is the herbal tea. It's a green box, and you'll see it pops up quite commonly. So all you got to do is, once you've got the water in your backpack, you go to put your cans down next to the fireplace, and you select the can, and the herbal tea pops up, and you can cook some herbal tea in there. It gives you a time, like before, it's 12 minutes this time. I'm going to do this again. Cook some more herbal tea. So I've got 2 herbal teas, and what you'll find is once it's boiled, you grab it, take it, gives you a little cup. Very nice. You go to inventory, you go to your tea. It's there. It's something that you've cooked. Very basic thing. But of course, this is a beginner tutorial, so this is your kind of your base herbal tea. Drink it. Gives you go to your character, you will see you've got a bit of a buff here. Warming up. That warm food goes straight to your core, heating you up from within, protects against cold for a while. Okay, so, and that would obviously account for all heated foods. You also get improved rest. This will help you rest more deeply. You'll recover more condition per hour of rest. So that's a really handy thing to have, and you get this heart and a little, there you go, a benefit, warming up. So just bear in mind there are buffs in game, and that's a really handy one to get your hands on. Tip 8. there aren't many things that you can make early in the game. Go to inventory, and in fact, if you go across to crafting on the top right hand, top center of the screen, you will see that probably the most basic thing you can create is a tinder plug, and that helps you start a fire. Pretty straightforward. But if you're out and about, keep your eyes out for a sewing kit. On a very basic level, this is kind of like the next thing you can pick up that will help you craft some basic things, as long as you've got some cloth, which is pretty easy to come by because you can rip down curtains and make cloth out of them. So you can craft improvised hand wraps and improvised head wrap, which actually is handy considering your character will often start without any kind of head or hand protection. So if you get the sewing kit, get the cloth out and craft yourself some wraps. So I'm going to do the head wrap here. I've got ready the other one, and you can see if you click on the head here, you can wear that head wrap. Very handy. Tip 9. Sometimes you'll find yourself in a dark place. Okay, I mean a pitch black room. And you're wondering, how am I going to see what I'm doing? And you may have just slept for some time and suddenly everything is really dark. In the beginning, you may think, what, how am I getting out of this? Well, you can, if you want to, grab your matches and use. And just light yourself a match. And actually, it's not something that you necessarily think you can do in game as a mechanic, but it's really nice. You can see he puts his hands out there, protects it, and the match is actually burning down on the animation. Really cool, and it kind of gives you really a nice image of where you're at and what you need to be able to do. So you just have to hold the left mouse button down, you get the match out, and there you go. You can see where we're at. Tip 10. So the game has an underlying storyline. Sections of the map connect to other sections, and they lead you on to the next part. So, for example, you see that tower over there? There's a code in that tower that opens up one of the doors in this kind of port area over here. So you've got to be aware, as you're exploring the map, you may pick up clues, or the fact that you've been to an area will open up another area. A map is kind of based around some kind of story or history, so you've got to just keep your eyes peeled for clues and be aware that it's, although some open world survival games are just straight survival, this does have story elements in it. So just bear that in mind as you go through the game. They've rigged it so that you have to go to certain places to be able to get into other places. Bonus tip. Sometimes there are some strange effects caused by the aurora. Sometimes you get energy. If you see it happening, you may find that certain lights come on, like in this little cabin here. And you can see it's a bit spooky, especially with that head up like that. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And ultimately, don't give up. That's what I would say. Don't get too demoralised by this game. It really is worth persevering with. It's a very immersive experience. Sound, colour, graphics, how your body's pressure all the time, and the little voiceovers like that one there, they really add to the game. It is awesome. The sound effects you can hear, step out there, the wind is louder, going to the shade it's quieter. It's really great. So don't give up. It's well worth the fight. It's a game I recommend to anybody who asks me about survival games. So come in and play The Long Dark, guys, and I hope that these tips have helped you today. Fingers crossed they have. And if they have, then click the thumbs up And if you're not subscribed already, it'd be awesome if you could. So I'll catch up with you very soon. Thanks for watching.